Hello and welcome to the Timson podcast. I am one of your two hosts, Tim.
Thanks. Hey, it's Tom as well.
Hey, so there's the two of us. Now you've seen the podcast. Now that's all. I'm joking. Today we're going to talk about 3 EPs. It's going to be a pretty interesting week. We've been waiting on Bandana to drop, and we'll be doing that next week, possibly.
Yes, Lord.
And possibly coming next week or the week after. I need to check the release date. Will be the Raconteurs' 3rd album. We're gonna try and branch out, do a few more things rather than just hip hop because we're gonna come back to that, and then we'll also come back and check on how the XXL freshman class of 2019 are going on once the ciphers drop.
Because the list is now live.
Yes, and we'll do a review of the list, and we'll do a review of the ciphers, and we have a very special plan for that episode, which we think you will all enjoy. So, without further ado, let's get into this week. The 3 EPs we're going to be doing are Guwop George, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, from Mach-Hommy, followed by...
I put Joji in my notes.
I mean, I almost did several times. This will be followed up by The Plugs I Met by Benny the Butcher. And then we'll do the... Was it Awaited? I don't know. I think it kind of dropped out of nowhere.
People were begging him for this for ages.
Oh, jeez, okay. We'll be doing 7, the Lil Nas X EP.
Which is 8 songs, which kind of triggered me.
Well, isn't one of them the same song twice?
True.
But it's still not, and even both those 2 versions aren't the best version of that song, which is irrefutably the Diplo remix.
Don't say it. Oh, no.
And okay, so from let's all take a deep breath in
and go.
And let's go. Guwop George. Okay, now you and I both looked this up. You found it out the clever way by just finding it on Genius. I am an idiot and I don't use Genius, so I googled it. What does it mean? Guwop George, according to Learn Haitian Creole with Gloria.com, shout out, is essentially a Haitian Creole saying which means one will meet the consequences of your actions, or you will meet the consequences of your actions.
Which I thought was quite wordy, considering it was only 3 words.
Yeah.
All of that, but I don't speak Haitian. Maybe their conversations are incredibly short.
It also could potentially be a reference to a devastating hurricane that came through Haiti rather in 2001.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Called George or George. I'm not quite sure. Potentially that it could be a reference to Mach-Hommy's, just how he kind of devastates this entire thing with his performance. He's very good. But I don't know. I don't want to read too far into that. All I know is that it seems like it has a pretty great title. I wasn't sure if it was going to be a foreign language album actually, or a foreign language project. When I saw that, I thought, what is this? Is it Dutch?
Well, I found out this came out because The Alchemist just put the title and then like had a snippet, and I was like, what the hell? But then I clicked on it, and I heard it was Mach-Hommy in the video, so I was like, okay, let's see what's up. And then that was interesting because he's got production credits throughout this thing, and the Benny the Butcher EP as well.
Yeah, he appears to be getting around a bit, and just making himself busy. Which is
a bit like MF Doom. He loves the underground.
Yeah, and these are 2 underground projects.
So we touched on Mach-Hommy a little bit when we reviewed Your Old Droog. He was on 2 of the songs.
Ah, okay. I did get a Your Old Droog vibe from some of the instrumentals here.
And he was on one of the songs.
But yeah, man, I did not know what to expect with this, and I was floored, absolutely floored. Out of the 2 EP spoilers, this is my favorite.
Straight to the chase.
Yeah, straight to the chase, but I want to try and tell you why over the course of this mini review. So, yeah, I didn't expect it to... You didn't tell me anything about this. I didn't look up anything about this. I dove straight in, as
That's
I
meant
do.
to be, in my opinion.
Um,
Because expectations
and
get in the way.
oh, definitely. Yeah, I did not know this was a jazz rap album. I thought it was just gonna be some kind of hard trap, which I mean I can vibe to. But this was a really, really, really nice surprise. It starts off with is it Chimney Brush?
Shinny brush.
Chinny Brush. There we go.
I thought, again, you just sort of see things and think,
Yeah.
and sort of lazily read it, but there's no N.
Okay, Chinny Brush.
Crazy. I don't know what a
Shiny
chinny
brush,
brush is.
perhaps. No, me neither. But yeah, it has this smoky kind of dark nocturnal jazz beat, which fades perfectly in. Um,
There's
from
this
this,
weird woodwind sample
and
that
it
plays throughout. I don't know what instrument it is,
no,
but
but
it sort of
it's
makes the jazz rap beat more interesting and a bit more left
definitely.
field.
Definitely. I love the opening line he has. The room was heavy with such and such. It's literary, it really places you in this kind of environment, this dark, smoky room heavy with atmosphere. Is really, really a strong opening.
And we got a Quelle Chris verse as well on the back end of this
Mm-hmm.
track, where he has the line I really liked about, "No John Legend, we're not ordinary people, we're cut from a different cloth."
Is that a reference to lyrics?
Yeah, the John Legend's ordinary people. No, John Lennon, not John Legend.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No, don't worry. Don't worry. These things happen. Yeah,
Too many damn Johns.
the only criticism I could have for this is that I think the track is a bit too long. But that's remedied when it switches into Mozambique drill, which is a far shorter track. It has kind of this spoken word flow over this kind of funky bass line. It has this great hook, play stupid games and get stupid prizes. It kind of has these almost retro sounding bars. Kind of yeah, they kind of reminded me to jazz rap. No, sorry, the gangster rap, saying like it's the strongest to survive, the wisest to the highest. And then it ends with this bar, which is do whatever it takes to get incarcerated. It's great.
I love the hook, man.
Mm.
It's sort of lazy, but it's also quite dreamy in a way.
Yeah.
I
And
didn't really like the feature that much, though.
why not?
I don't know. It didn't really vibe with me that much.
Oh, that's fair enough.
But
I think.
he produced the track, so I'll let him off.
Yeah, it's another. I think it's a great title for a track, that Mozambique Drill. Great.
Yeah.
Then there's the eponymous track Guwop and Kenny. This beautiful sample. This very funny hook. I don't know if I want to say it.
I wouldn't.
No, I'm not gonna say it. You Google it. It was also a song by a song we almost reviewed, which turned out to be a pretty great song. It's a saying, but it's this very kind of uh it's this kind of rude, obnoxious, abrasive kind of hook, and it's crooned so delicately, which kind of juxtaposes it, and it's kind of funny in that sense.
I thought for me, it perfectly embodied what Watcon George means, that you will meet the consequence of your actions, you'll reap what you sow.
Okay.
That was the sort of message throughout this song, really. When at first I thought it was just really spiteful, but I think that was why. And it made a lot more sense once I found that out.
That is pretty damn insightful. I will notice that on the second time. I'm gonna look into that. That's great. I think this is one of my fave tracks. On this, the instrumental on this track is especially smooth. All of the instrumentals on this project are really, really above par. They're very, very good, and I'm sure
And I
that
love
is
the artwork as well.
Yeah, he kind of looks like a pirate.
Yeah, I think it was a sort of like a slave boat driver type look.
It was
Which is obviously how the Caribbeans got populated, no?
it's definitely a part. I don't know about Haiti. I'm not so well versed in.
All I know is I think it's a French colony.
I know that Haiti is actually the place where the kind of zombie myth originated. There are these people called buckles who would they would just turn people into zombies, which are slaves, which would do people's biddings for them. I don't know, fun little fact there. Let's move on swiftly to the next track, Wheeler, which is the hardest beat. I'm gonna say it. In regards to the bass and the drums, it's definitely it's definitely the best beat.
What do you mean?
Sorry?
Wheeler.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. No, I skipped a line. My bad. I skipped a page. That was that's.
I think you mean Time Face.
Yeah, Time Face. I think the best track on here. Either way, well, no. It's kind of no. It's not the best track. The next song.
It's like a vocal sample.
Yeah. It's kind of an interlude.
About 40 seconds. Into Idiot Boy.
Idiot Boy. My favorite track. There we go.
Oh really?
Yeah, because it's just where it switches over in the intro to Idiot Boy. So Time Face is this kind of it's this glitchy kind of skippy instrumental, and then there's a switch to this Wu-Tang sample. I believe it's The Mystery of Chess Boxing. Tom, didn't you noticed it was Raekwon who was sampled?
Yes. I thought it was from Only Built for Cuban Links, but I could well be wrong.
I swear it's from.
All I know is I recognise it.
Yeah, I recognise it too, and
I love that the instrumental reminded me of when the plot thickens in like a Christie drama or something. This is the kind of music that we'll play. And we had Fahim the God again. Euro Droog gave us both nice features. But again, for me, Mac was the main man.
Definitely.
And also, interestingly, the beat sort of became much more lively. It had more drums.
Yeah.
And
it has this, it's a kind of strange sounding instrumental. It has a lot of depth to it. And there's this vintage, I swear it's these vintage kind of keys which are playing in these vintage horns. I don't know, that's what it sounds like. I think that, I agree with you. It's kind of in that the sort of thing you would expect in kind of a drama. It's pretty strange. And then those little what are they, kind of accents on the instrumental, they pitch shift when the bars become darker, which is really nice to notice. It's a really well put together track. I think those two, Time Face into Idiot Boy, are really, really damn good.
And Mach-Hommy said shouting like Alex Jones.
Yeah, I heard that. I mean, I heard Alex Jones reference, but I didn't know where it was from. Yeah, it's great. And then I got one which is most of the world's wearing a costume, aiming pure since Mars' womb. It's a dark and uncomfortable yet compelling track. It has these kind of I don't know, the vibe I got. It reminded you of, I guess, the Christie drama. It kind of reminded me of the kind of those musical cues which play in a Scooby Doo episode.
Either way, it doesn't belong on a rap song. But yet,
it does. Yeah.
It wouldn't have been something you'd ever think to do, which I guess is why this is so good. A bit like that. There was a Euro Droog song on when we reviewed that made me think that way as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of
I think it was Babushka.
Spooky stuff.
Yeah, because it was so there's points where there's nothing playing at all, and then there's
these weird sounds. Yeah, there's then I'm pretty sure this glorious boom bap beat kicks in near the end, which is not even the best part of this album because on the next track,
Mitron.
there you go. Thank you. I can't read my handwriting sometimes. Earl Sweatshirt is like comes in hard. I wasn't sure if I was hearing correctly. I wasn't sure if I was having an auditory hallucination. No, I wasn't. It was actually Earl Sweatshirt. He was actually there, and yeah, the sound on this album is a bit experimental and glitchy at times. It kind of reminded me of a fair amount of the instrumentals on some rap songs. So I think it was a
He
perfect
produced
match.
this song, so that makes sense.
Definitely.
Because this one was so glitchy.
Especially.
My only issue with it really was it was really short. It was less than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Just like most of the songs on some rap songs. But then
Yeah.
again, the beat was so weird. I think it might give me a migraine if it was much longer.
Yeah, definitely. I really appreciated that pitch shift at the end where it kind of slipped straight into Simbi. Yeah. It's I think it's kind of about the cost of fame. There's a bar which like flip you like a dustbin lid. Just kind of funny, kind of.
Also, burn you like Michelle Spoon. Michelle
What's that?
Basquiat's heroin spoon.
My God, I did not get that. Jesus Christ. Whoa.
Yeah, it was a strong closer.
Yeah, it's this great sense of rhythm, and it's this kind of perfect jazzy beat, and as you said, it's a great closer. There's this beautiful saxophone, solo, which sees it out rather perfectly, and it's such a concise project. It's so well put together, and it totally floored me, man. I'm giving it a 9.
Holy moly!
I think it deserves it wholeheartedly, man. This is
Fair play,
great.
man.
This is a big surprise. Yeah. I'm gonna listen to more of Mach-Hommy. I think.
I don't know what else he's got out, but this was because I was a bit indifferent to his 2 features, but I thought I'd give it a try because it wasn't very long, and I don't know. I saw potential.
Yeah.
And this was awesome. It's
Yeah.
an 8. It's an 8 for me.
See, yeah, we're in the same sort of ballpark, I'd say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And again, I love the artwork.
Yeah.
The
Me
only
too.
thing I didn't love was that I couldn't find out who produced the songs. Apart from, I just assumed that the ones with the features were listed as producers on the project would have done the ones that they were on.
Or maybe they just had a bit of involvement. Did you say? I mean, the Alchemist was involved in this, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he was promoting it as well. But
Yeah.
I don't know what songs he did.
Yeah.
I would guess Idiot Boy was probably one of those though. But anyway.
Yeah.
Much of a muchness.
Now, because you prefer the following album, would you care to take the lead on it, Tom?
Well, this is Benny the Butcher EP. He sort of caught a lot of people's attention, including my own, with his Tanner Talk 3 project last year, which was produced by Darringer and Alchemist.
Okay.
And it had some very good songs like Rubber Bands and Wait. And so he brought this one out. There was the single the week before, the one you accidentally started talking about, 18 Wheeler with Pusha T.
Yeah.
I wanted us to review, but we did other things instead.
Yeah.
And here we are now.
Yeah.
I can't say I'm particularly well versed, but I know he's not verified on Twitter, which is crazy.
You said he was a possible nominee for the next year's freshman class.
I voted for him a few times. But
I think the thing is, it's just people don't. Yeah, I don't think he has that big of a presence right now. I'm assuming that is going to change after this project.
But we got some big name features here: Black Thought, Jadakiss,
Pusha
T, and obviously the Alchemist and Darringer on here.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's freaking get into this. So the intro was like a weird, almost like a parable type story of a huntsman's leaving bloody knives, and then the wolves lick them, and then bleed to death, and then they just collect the wolves and eat them, and saying how that's just nature.
Mm. Which it is.
And it is. But I can't see why a wolf would not stop after it hurt. That was the main issue I had with it, to be honest.
Yeah, I guess it's because it's kind of a parable. It's called "Do You Blame the Wolf for Trying to Eat?" I believe. Which is an interesting question. I think. Yeah, there's something more to this. Definitely something more to this.
Then
or I could just.
Yes, sorry.
No. Carry on.
And that transports us into Crowns for Kings, which has a super sweet strings on this instrumental.
Yeah.
There's so many quotables that I haven't bothered to write any down because I'd be like reciting the verses
fine.
and there's no point
Yeah.
in that. But this is definitely a strong ass opener. But this is something that made me contemplate why, if I was a rapper, I wouldn't get Blackthorn as a feature. Because even though Benny's verse was hard as hell, he still got bodied on his own song.
Yeah.
By Blackthorn.
Well, is it? I don't know if it makes the song better and it makes the whole project better, but it's always not that nice if you get outshined by a feature. Yeah. There's Benny has this great energetic and I'd say retro flow over this glorious boom bap beat. There was one bar which really stood out to me. The judge gonna give you life, then you gonna play golf.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that was very cool. And Black Thought just goes really hard.
And he raps for so long as well. If I got that verse in, I'd be tempted to just play it to myself and not let anyone else hear it.
Yeah, just give him writing credits.
Yeah, I don't know. This is. I mean,
it's great. It's a great track.
It is a great song, but from the artist's point of view, I'd think twice. But that's just because Black Thought's so goddamn good.
Or maybe, and also Benny's probably a very humble man.
Yeah, maybe.
Shined. Because he has the whole rest of the project to wow us, even though he already has. Sunday School's the next one. This very crisp and dark instrumental with this
Derringer. The weird plucky piano keys.
I liked it.
I liked it a lot, but I find it kind of unsettling as well.
Yeah,
I think that was part of the vibe because it's just this whole drug dealer aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got
the drug dealer aesthetic.
Well, it was a drug dealer-y lyrics.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like he was kind of bigging himself up as some kind of mythical character in this. To a degree.
And how he's been trapping so much, and there's so much broken glass from the hard drugs.
It reminds me.
It looks like he'd broken in, which thinking now is ridiculous.
Yeah, it was
so much goddamn meth.
He's his sound reminds me of your old Droogs, but just way harder, in my opinion. I love the cover art as well. I just want to talk about briefly, he has this drug dealer.
Is it Scarface?
Yeah, it's a still from Scarface with the eyes of Al Pacino and the other actor been white lined right across. I guess the white line's like cocaine in that sense. It's very cool, very very cool. It's a great aesthetic on the whole thing.
You've got a nice Jadakiss feature as well. Yeah. But did you think 38 Spesh sounded like a B-Tech Danny Brown?
I didn't get that.
The guy of the last verse. I don't know. It was his voice and his flow. It just reminded me of Danny Brown. But it obviously wasn't as good.
I thought they were all good features. And I appreciated one of them kind of growled his, and it sounded he growled his verse and it was kind of unique and a bit old school. But the drums on this drums was so crisp, man. I really love a crisp, good instrumental. I think you get used to distorted bass lines if you listen to too much heavy trap. It's always nice to have a beautiful boom bap beat every now and then.
The Ring is like a jazz producer, really.
How's it? I think it is probably Derringer.
Derringer, like a small pistol.
Yeah, a small pistol. Yeah, exactly.
Then after that, we had Dirty Harry.
Mm-hmm.
Which Dirty Harry do you prefer, this or the Gorillas?
Well, the Gorillaz one is a part of my childhood, but this does have the best bass line on the whole thing. I'm just gonna say, no, best bass line since Meat Grinder. I'm
Oh
cool.
god, that's a hard call.
It's great. It has these it has these great spacey kind of sound effects in it. There's like just so many more hard lyrics. Like I wish the blood off the money. My daughter's inheritance. It's great.
Shocking, like finding out your daughter's a lesbian.
Yeah, it's so hard.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna knock you out like Deontay Wilder as well.
Who is he a boxer?
Yes.
Oh, okay, there we go.
We had. I thought RJ Payne's speech that kicked the track off was good. Conway's, I guess, was alright.
I really
again,
sometimes
so
I
on
just
this
wish it was
occasion,
just Benny.
Benny just did it the best. I think,
Yeah.
like you said, I thought this was a bit like the IDK project we did a little while ago.
Yeah.
Because there was features on, I think, every song.
But I don't care. They're all superfluous. I just want to hear the main event.
Yeah, man, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But this was the only solo track, actually, funnily enough, that we mentioned it now, that took the money to the Plugh's house.
Yeah.
Produced by The Alchemist.
A Pluhg is like your mate, right?
The guy that gives you the drugs to sell is the Pluhg, I believe.
Ah, there we go. That makes even more sense. Thank you for clearing that up, Tom. There's
It's alright. I'm not a drug dealer, so I cannot confirm.
There's a saxophone and piano in here, which kind of serves to build this tension and create this kind of oppressive atmosphere on here. It kind of seems like he's taking the money to the Plugh's house, like he needs to get the money there, obviously, and like he doesn't want anyone to see, he doesn't want to be followed, doesn't want anything to come in. Like there's so many things that could go wrong, and it has that kind of tension.
I really feel like this one is the centerpiece of the EP.
Yeah, definitely.
It just the fact that it's the only solo track.
Yeah.
The fact that it's so well produced. It's probably my favorite song, actually. And it just sort of encompasses everything so well.
Yeah.
That this is all about.
And it makes sense to come near the tail end of the project. It's followed by 18 Wheeler, is it the standout single?
Yeah.
Featuring Pusha T, the biggest feature. At least that I know of. He's the only feature that I know. It is. I'd say
Black Thought from the Roots.
I've heard of Black Thought, but I haven't listened to solo stuff. So I guess I have listened to Pusha T's solo stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely one of the hardest, if not the hardest beats. Yeah, definitely. There's this line about someone you make this guy open the bag like Black Santa. Do you have the full line there?
No.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I think it's like you just go up to this guy who's. What is it? Okay, yeah,
well,
no,
assuming
this
they're dealing drugs like Black Santa,
yeah,
be giving out gifts.
Yeah, that's it. It's great. And yeah, man, yeah, it's great. It's just another. I'm reminded of Coke White, the last track we reviewed last week with Pusha T on it, but I think they're kind of sonically similar. They're both of these very hard beats. Pusha T is like really good.
The only thing I didn't like was the choppy ending where it kept replaying bars. I mean, I appreciate you not wanting to fade out because that's just played out at this point.
Yeah,
but
I always prefer it if there's like a proper ending. If it's just
I love an abrupt ending. That's my favorite.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, a proper abrupt ending. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think of
my only complaint? I thought this was another great song.
Yeah.
And I think you encompassed that perfectly. That Push T was fire.
What do you think of 5 to 50, the closer? Yeah.
I just thought it was a good song that got constantly broken up by those clips of his girlfriend talking. and not in a good way, in my opinion.
Yeah. It was like really dense, man. It has these more kind of weird kind of accents to the beat. It has this kind of, I don't know how to say it, but a kind of a 70s vibe, sort of, with some of the instrumentations. It's this very flexible flow, which has these featuring these triplets and these couplets together. The sample is great. What is it? I told him I was dealing with Benny. So again, he's built himself up as this kind of mythological character who's like powerful and scary. Kind of reminds
and like that her dad knew him before they started going out. So
exactly.
Again, sort of some kingpin
Infamy.
type.
Yeah, it reminds me of what Biggie kind of tries to do for himself in one of his interludes, where it's these two guys like pulling up to his house. It's him ready to die, and he has like a gun with a laser on it. Yeah, and he just like shoots them both because they're like, oh, we're gonna rob his house, and then like he has a gun with a laser sight on it, and they see like a laser on their heads, and he just shoots both of them. So he kind of bigs himself up as this kind of scary hitman, kingpin kind of character.
Yeah, I just feel like how frequently they came in was what sort of broke up the track.
Yeah, definitely. But this had like mad grooves, and he's kind of it's a very underground vibe.
It was your pal Al again.
Yeah. friend of the show, the alchemist, Alan the chemist. Does the best.
Why does Action Bronson always clown the alchemist on Fuck That's Delicious?
I don't know, I haven't seen it.
For being like miserable. It's not very nice.
No, that's not fair. Because he brings us such beautiful tracks.
He's brought him so much beautiful tracks over the years. But anyway, enough about that.
Oh, there was this great line. After it was talking about putting like an extra so much in the bags, which makes an extra 20 on that 100, which makes so much more. And it's like, you do the math. It's like, he's such a good seller. It's so cool. Many references to the plugs he's met over the whole thing. Like, there's many references to the plugs I met, the title of the album itself. Then there's this other kind of bar towards the end, which is like 600 legal money that I have. So, and then I guess his girlfriend's talking about how like he's so different now. So potentially this mythological Benny the Butcher was this character who he was, and now he's someone else. There's a lot to it, a lot to break down, and I really appreciate that in the songwriting. You know, it's really excellent.
I'll give you that.
It's a hard-boiled, badass project, which I really didn't expect. Either I just think they're both like so good in their own right. I'm a sucker for jazzy beats and jazzy
throwback, isn't it?
I think they're both kind of throwbacks in their own right.
Yeah, they definitely are.
But this one definitely more so. This is it's great. It reminds me of just like
if you wanted to like, someone asked you what New York hip hop sounds like, just play any song from here, and it would perfectly paint that out. Whereas I think Mach-Hommy's is a bit more experimental.
Yeah, definitely.
And I have actually changed my mind, by the way. I do prefer that one now. But I also think this is an 8. Controversial. But maybe
I've changed my mind, and now I kind of feel like they're as good as each other in their own rights, and I'm tempted to give this a 9. But I think it's gonna be in between an 8 and a 9. I don't know if are we doing that 8 to 9?
Do whatever you want.
I think, the 8.9. 8.9. I think Mach-Hommy's just has that one up in regards to the jazzy instrumentation, and it's how experimental it is. The Plugs I met is by the book. It knows what it is, and it does what it wants to do extremely well, and it's brilliant. I'm so happy you told me to check it out, man.
And I'm so happy that he held his own with Pusha T, because if he got bodied by
Two on the same thing.
Two legends on the same project. You'd have to question his feature choice.
From two excellent projects
that are very nostalgic to something incredibly
new. Well, I guess contemporary.
Contemporary is exactly what I wanted to say.
We're going to be talking about 7.
Lil Nas X.
Now, here's the thing. This is it's 7, and I guess if you take out.
So it kicks off with this song called Old Town Road. I don't know if you've heard.
I don't know if you've heard of it. Yeah. Oh, for God's sake! I was going to say the same thing. And this is the Billy Ray Cyrus remix. I don't know. It's kind of.
I would have put it the other way around. That was the first thing that sort of annoyed me. That I think he did that. Closed it rather than opened it. That didn't really make sense to me.
I think he's done that just because it's the one which is the most listened to, and when people say Old Town Road, they mean the Billy Ray Cyrus remix. They don't mean the original.
He's basically solely put them on there to make sure this goes, however, platinum. Because all streams and sales get added on the singles. So like an album.
What's that?
If your single went platinum. Mm-hmm. And you have it on the album when it comes out, then your album is basically platinum before it's
by default
released. Yeah.
Bloody hell, that's cheeky. That is cheeky. Yeah, I have mixed.
Because I was expecting him to sort of, which he actually did on other songs to be fair, so show us what he can do. So I didn't really want Old Town Road on here.
I think there is that element of it where he's trying to show us how flexible he is as a vocalist and I guess in part as a producer if he has produced these tracks. But I also, the cynical part of me feels like this is just an experiment to see what his fans want from him, and then he can just pick out the most listened to and liked songs and pick those as further sonic directions to go in.
I think that's fair enough though, because he's basically blown up off one song. It's not like he had a dope project or anything, or he had a fan base really before the song came out. Or I don't even know he had that much. I don't think
anyone knew who he was. I don't think he has any material prior to. I think he has like one other single. No one knew.
Before the release of this, he came out as an industry plant, which was an interesting move.
Really, he came out.
Mm-hmm. As an industry plant.
No, it definitely seemed like that. How quickly he blew up,
and
how well produced Old Town Road is.
Yeah, that's true.
And then how he's able to get Billy Ray Cyrus on it. Strings are pulled.
But then we have the very anticipated that every time you read a Lil Nas X comment section, it was always release Panini. Release Panini. Yeah, because there was like snippets of him dancing to it, and he kept talking about how he had a new song while talking about Old Town Road a lot as well.
Yeah, I think he played Panini at a live show.
Panini is now here.
And Panini is pretty great. I'd say it's just about as good as Old Town Road. It's in a similar vein. It's very synth heavy. It's kind of melodic. It's better with.
It's almost a response to Old Town Road.
Really?
In the way that it's sort of like, why are you changing your opinion on me just because I'm successful now? So because of Old Town Road.
That's very good.
Don't be a meanie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Family or F9 Millie.
However, not good.
It's really bad. I'm gonna say it's
Oh, good. I was hoping. I was finding a feeling you might have liked it.
No, God, no. Like this is why I'm cynical about it, because this just is indie rock and is so by the numbers. Chorus verse, chorus verse, end. And it wasn't original. It wasn't unique in any way at all. How Old Town Road was, and it really just like a disservice to Lil Nas X as a character.
Yeah, I feel like he just there's maybe something he wanted to do, so he did it. But I also can sort of see what you're saying. Hey, do people like this? Maybe I could do it more.
I don't
Well,
know.
we certainly
If people
don't.
like this, then I feel I'm angry. Then it's followed up by Kick It, which not what I
I
expected.
also didn't like.
I didn't like this either. I was expecting like a jazzy rap track because it just reminds me of "Can I Kick It" by a Tribe Called Quest.
Oh god, you've done it again.
Yeah, but no, I kind of like the saxophone hook and how there was this very weird vocal sample, but Lil Nas X is just really not compelling at all. His performance is phoned in. It really wasn't very good. Whereas on Rodeo, the next track, he is compelling and he is delivering like a performance which I want to listen to. He sounds engaged with the content that he's creating, and it has a good feature from Cardi B. I must say it.
Yeah,
Uh,
everyone was hating on this. I thought she was hot.
oh, yeah, and she has this great bar like I can't be someone's ex. I gotta be his widow.
Yeah, that was hot. That was so gangster.
Yeah, it's great. It was interesting, and it was a far better performance than the previous two tracks. Then there's a "Bring You Down," which, so the bass line kind of felt like it was Pixies-esque. Um, it is definitely another by the numbers rock track. This one in like regards to that alternative rock, grungy, loud, quiet formula. Um, it just really didn't do anything for me.
Okay.
It felt generic.
I didn't like it either, but I don't
No,
really like this genre of music at the best of times.
no. Um, then there's C7 Oja, Closure, I guess, which is very poppy, but with this such a generic beat, it really just like did nothing for me, man. I skipped this one. It is pointless.
Really, I like the melody
Nah.
because we all knew you could sing because of the Old Town Road hook, and I thought this proved that again.
Ah, fair enough. But no, it didn't do anything for me, man. And then there's Old Town Road, the original, which I don't know if you need to talk about it. So essentially, this seems like an eclectic collection of sounds, all of which is testing the waters of to see whether or not his fan base reacts positively or negatively to it to kind of shape his direction that he goes in. I appreciated that all of the different sounds were accompanied by their own unique music videos, uh, but it just feels like a very cynical project in my opinion.
Oh, it's definitely testing the waters. I don't know if it's as cynical as you say,
Mm.
but it's just a mixed bag. I think you got the great singles, Old Town Road, Panini, Rodeo. And I like Closure, but either way, you can probably keep the rest.
No, I don't know how I feel about it, man. It's I mean, Old Town Road, Panini, and Rodeo are good, but I really don't see the others need a place at all. I'd see them gone. Get rid of them. Yeah, I don't know. If we're giving this something, I guess I'd give it a 4.
I'll give it a mess out of 10.
Yeah, I think mess out of 10 is an accurate rating, and I
Okay,
think
5.
no, I agree. Like mess out of 10. I agree. Um, Yeah, for something which is a bit of a mess and doesn't really have an identity or doesn't really know what its identity is yet. We're gonna go over to Gucci, Mane, and Kenny's collaboration.
Gucci. I love Gucci, man.
hmm
I
Now here's
literally.
it's
Delusions of Grandeur out now.
huh?
Delusions of Grandeur out now.
Oh yes, oh yes. And this track is Proud of You.
Can I say how happy I was that this exists?
This track or the whole album?
This track.
Yeah, me too.
Because it proved once again that Gucci keeps his ears to the streets. He knows the hot track producers right now. He comes
Yeah.
out with this project. It's got freaking Tay Keith on it and Murder Beats as well. But
hmm
the fact that he got Kenny on there as well,
Yeah.
That's just
Maybe he likes the
mad
cave.
respect.
Maybe he likes the cave.
What if we got an episode of Gucci in it?
I would actually be so happy. I would cease to exist.
He's produced 2 songs,
Oh.
Us and this song, Proud of You.
I only found out. I only found that he's proud of you.
Well, we're only doing Proud of You.
Okay, good.
That is the better one.
Yeah. Now
the beat is so hard.
Oh yes, it is, and it is definitely a Kenny Beats beat. Do you want to take the lead, Tom?
I mean, like I said, the beat is so hard, and I love how the track starts with you get before the Woe Kenny comes in, you got the Gucci growling along with the bass line.
Mm-hmm.
Just
yeah.
And then you know it's gonna be hard as hell from that moment on.
Yeah.
And I like that the hook was like proof that if Gucci gave up lean, so can you, because you really should, because it's terrible for you. And I love this. It's such a braggadocious and charismatic song.
Definitely.
Because Gucci's voice just oozes charisma to me. So this is exactly what I want from Gucci Mane.
Yeah.
So for me, this is a pretty great song.
Oh, me too. I agree. Definitely that braggadocious vibe with the hook. Guwop, I'm so proud of you. Guwop being another one of Gucci's handles. It kicks off with this this kind of thick bass and these I don't know if it's screwed is the correct term, but those kind of down pitched hi hats, which seems to be a Kenny Beats staple. Guwop has this bar about how he sank the Titanic or something. And
his ice. But
yeah,
he was saying his pinky ring was so big it sent the Titanic.
yeah,
icy, like diamondy.
Oh god. It's so funny. Like his ring is so big, it is an iceberg, and that sank the Titanic. I don't know if it could also be a reference to that title of his, where it's like the human glacier. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it all ties in.
Yeah, it's
the Gucci Mane myth.
Mhm. I love the Gucci Mane lore. Then there's this other bar. It's like I freestyle. Don't even think anymore. Or don't even think no more. It's so good. It's so loud and proud and braggadocious and just like free spirited. Gucci Mane seems like a proper free spirit.
Ever since he's out of jail, man, he's been dropping better and better stuff.
Definitely. And yeah, I'm sorry we didn't pick to cover the entire project. We think that this kind of format of these 3 EPs allows us to do a bit more stuff. It was also a bit more diverse in regards to the soundscapes we looked at. And
as long as we don't sleep on Kenny Beats, everything is good in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. We're never gonna sleep on Kenny Beats. I want Kenny Beats to come on the podcast. Anyway.
Until that happens.
I've been Tim.
And I've been Tom.
And you've been listening to the Tim Tom podcast. The Gucci Mane podcast.